trouble with my video. So good morning. Welcome to Journey with Self, live from my bedroom. I have my bed desk all set up, and I am doing things a little differently today because that feels right in this moment. So one of the joys of doing your show from your bed is you can earn whatever you want, do it however you want. And that feels potent and magical. So welcome to Monday morning in your life. It's a great opportunity to drop from your head into your heart and get present to what's moving inside of you. I feel nervous and new again this morning. I find that really interesting. Maybe not nervous, maybe like excited. I'm still very much learning the difference inside of my body between nervous and excited, because for so long the default was just nervous, which would then go to anxious, which would then create its own snowball effect. And so, yeah. This feels like exciting and new. Anyways, welcome to Journey to Self. Welcome to Monday morning in your life, whatever time it is in your world. Welcome to the opportunity to drop into yourself and check in, even if it's only for a moment. Yeah. So why am I coming to you live from my bed desk this morning? Because I can. One of the most profound things I started doing in my world is questioning why I do things in my world, and how I do things, and how it serves me, and if it serves me, and what that looks like. And I know that my summer is completely in flux and up in the air, and I have the intention of flitting to and fro in my trailer and adventure and all of those things. So I was asking myself, what does this look like moving forward? Because typically I am on Just FM on the radio, and I can't take the radio with me. So just a little exploration of why I do what I do, and what part of it's meaningful, what part of it's not, what I want moving forward in my world, and what that's going to offer me, and what that can look like. And so I woke up this morning still uncertain of whether I was going to go there or what that was going to look like. And when I was having my clarity shower, it was the exploration of the whys. And so how do I know I want to do the things I'm doing the way that I'm doing them if I don't try them differently and see what that looks like and feels like inside of my body, and stay present to all of it. So yeah, I had, like I said, a clarity shower. There was little pieces offered up to me, and so I recognized the response inside of my body to start to plan those pieces. So I got like a little snippet of, oh, okay, so maybe I can take this show on the road and just do it live from wherever I'm at, and then like micromanage. Oh, well, how would that work and how would that fit in? And freedom means freedom to play and explore and make it up as you go along and see what that looks like week to week and moment to moment. And that's what I'm offering myself is that opportunity to ebb and flow and find what works and stay with what's meaningful and let go of what's not meaningful and stay present to it, all of it. And there's clarity for me this morning that all of it has meaning. And it has meaning in the fact that it doesn't have to be just this. So living in the impulse is sometimes just being like, yeah, I'm going to go live from my bed, or I'm going to go into Just FM and it's going to be this, or like just really, I'm so tired of micromanaging in my brain. And yeah, ta-da! Yeah, it feels it feels a little bit more open to the magic. I feel a little bit more open to the magic in this moment. Finding that space of knowing inside of me that having the right to choose means having the right to choose, and not subscribing to other people's ways of thinking that if it's not this, and this, and this, and this, you're not reliable, or you're not. Those are old stories. Those are old ways I was taught to be. Those are like, I can hear them in my mother's voice. And part of what I'm creating, part of what I'm choosing for myself is the freedom to not color within the lines all of the time. I have a deep respect for structure and schedules, and I'm going to use the word conformity where it's needed, but recognizing the spaces and places in my life where it is causing limitations, and just choosing in that moment to be like, no, I'm not going to do that way today. Maybe I do it that way again tomorrow. Maybe I don't do it that way again for an entire year, but it doesn't take away from anything, despite what I was told. So that's what I choose for myself moving forward, is the right to choose, period, moment to moment. And I've talked a lot about it, and then I still see sneaky little places where it's like, oh no, you said you would do this, so you're going to do this, or oh no, it's supposed to look this way, and sometimes I don't even know who's supposed to it is. It's just this supposed to that appears, and yeah, unless that supposed to holds meaning, it's not welcome anymore, and I'm really clear about that. I just had this thought. Yeah. I don't know what that thought was. I feel like I've grown leaps and bounds since last week. So much has happened, and so little all at the same time. It's beautiful. Yeah, and so this is me working back in my brain to access my week, and there was so much my week offered me in terms of magic and community and spaciousness and teeny tiny little connections that I know just we're like the drop of water that causes the ripple effect. That just seems so pregnant with possibility in this moment. I found the little shift I was looking for. So I remember how I was talking about feeling irritated and just like frustrated and like, and knowing that there was just a teeny tiny little shift coming, and it finally, I can't even give you the moment in which it came. I just, at some point in my week, there was a softening, and the word that comes to mind is like sanctity that just came over my week. And so in my everyday, in my connections with my children, in the day-to-day, what I would typically call monotony, the trance, the treadmill, the whatever, there was still this underlying current of I'm not actually on the treadmill. So I'm still doing the things that need to be done in my day-to-day life, but it's not from a place of trance. It's not from a place of servitude or just getting it done. It's from this place of openness and magic and possibility, and connecting to the sparkle of, I don't know, I guess it's just seeing the other side of monotony. I can think, I was sitting on my deck having my lunch, just watching my children play, and I could just see the beauty of it, the freedom of it, like my like the vision was a little bit clearer, the lettuce was a little bit crisper, their giggles touched a place inside of me. And it just offered me this opportunity to soften and see, fully see and be submerged in the moment. And I can remember the feeling inside of my body just watching him swing on, he has this little disc on his ninja line and they have it wrapped up so it's pretty high. He was just swinging and squealing and giggling, and it occurred to me on Saturday. It's occurred to me before. It started when I did laugh yoga. The recognition that the laughter doesn't permeate my being. So the feeling of the laughter gets trapped in my jaw and it never actually transfers through my whole body. I didn't get that like belly burn, and I recognized that again, my holdback in so many ways. So I think I'm like living this raw and real experience, and I am on so many levels, but there's still this holdback, and I recognize it in the sounds that come out of my body. So I recognize it in laughter, I recognize it in singing, I recognize it in intoning and chanting, and even singing my soul song yesterday in the shamanic drum circle that I'm a part of. I recognized this tension inside of my body, this hold back. So I was loving the experience. I could feel that there was more that needed to come through me, but it wasn't coming through me. And the lovely human next to me, or maybe a couple humans down, was really letting go and letting out these loud sounds. And at one point, I was like, the sound scared me. That's how like sudden and loud it felt inside of my body. And I could feel myself take a step away from it. And it brought me fully back into my body. And I had this conscious thought of, oh, that should give me permission to just be and let loose. But I could feel the closing in even a little bit more. And I'm like, oh my word, this is brilliant. This is a brilliant recognition of the response inside of my body, where I thought that their deep expression in letting go would give me permission to let go. It actually had the complete opposite response inside of my body, and I felt myself close up a little bit more. So I had to start back, even just humming. But the brilliance of it wasn't lost on me. So I don't have like an answer or a fix or any of those things. I just have this beautiful knowing inside of me that there's still a big holdback on the spaces and places and sounds that I will let come out of me. And it goes so deep and so far back that it is literally a habitual response of my body to just the words that come to mind is not let out the primal sounds of me. And I don't even know what that means, if that makes sense. I'm talking so much, my coffee is getting cold. Yeah. So, good morning, Shelly. That one, and so after you do a soul song, there's a moment you pause and just like feel the integration and feel what's happening inside of your body. And my body was so tense. And there was this thought of, I should feel light and airy and, excuse me, and then this knowing of, there's no should, this is what you feel, and there's brilliance in it, because the truth of the matter is, as much as I want the experience to open me up and offer me this like freedom, there's still a large part of me that's like, what are we doing and why? And it just feels, I just heard like we're going to get in trouble. So I know that there's like some ancient fucked up repression that happens when I want to just let loose and sing my soul song and let those sounds out. And there's a deep knowing inside of my body why I have a calling. There's a retreat that's brewing inside of me that has a lot of this kind of work inside of it, and there's just a clarity inside of me right now of creating that space and allowing that flow and really having that time for self-exploration and working it into my life and my world and my flow and my journey. Imagine that. My journey to self. So yeah, there was just so much physical recognition of the verbal, ancient, tribal holdback inside of my body. And knowing that I'm just on the verge, and like I can see the offering to myself on the other side of that. And that feels oh so huge. And I know it has everything to do with what's moving inside of my throat. Good morning, Lindsay. For the past long while, it really ebbs and flows, and I can feel this thickening mucus, phlegm, whatever, that comes up, and I can feel it start to like break up sometimes, and then I can feel it really thicken in other times, and I've had the conscious thought of, man, like I tell my story, I talk, I do the work, but there's so many layers. There's so many layers, and that's why it's such a constant process. And I really deeply honor the process and all of us as I watch the wonderful humans that I know on their own journeys and staying present to it, and oh, the layers. Oh my God, the layers. Oh. And I have definitely had the thoughts of like, when am I done? But the recognition is, when I'm done, I'm done. And so I'm not ready to be done. The beauty of the layers and the beauty of staying present to the layers. So I can think of the spaces and places in my life where I was just like in this moment of wrecked and like moving through some stuff and crying as hard as I could cry and really a mess, as like the outer world would call it, but so not. Like, so for the average human in the trance, I just want to say, like, give yourself the space and the freedom to have that cry and know that it's something so much larger. Have that anger, have that moment, have it, be it, live it, feel it. Because I know in this moment I'm preaching to the choir of people who stay really present to what's moving through them. And I can feel like the tension building, and like there's such a shift happening. There's such an opportunity for all of us to stay present and be present, and yeah, I've felt like such a shift knowing that you ladies are the ones listening in this moment, and knowing that like the layers that we are peeling back, but I can feel like the potency, like I'm shivering and shaking inside of that offering, if that makes sense. And I'm really clear that I do this work for myself, but I'd be lying if I didn't recognize the permission it offers others in that same regard. You know what I'm talking about? Like, so the way that that you, Lindsay, are open and processing what you're processing, and you, Shelley, are open and staying present to your journey and offering classes and spaces and places and retreats, and I just really feel the global ripple in this moment, just even in the reciprocity of this conversation, even though you're like not really saying a lot. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I can feel it inside of my body, and it feels so much larger than here and now. Yes, when we're living it, we hold the space for others without doing. Yeah, and I know that's so just being so clearly inside of me right now. Like, I'm actually, like, I feel a little bit dizzy from the potency and the power and the cosmic ripple. And I don't even use that language. So yeah, that feels huge in this moment. I love the beauty I'm recognizing right now, because typically when I have quiet moments and I'm on the radio, like, oh, you can't be quiet that long. And there's definitely some freedom that just being live on video offers me to just breathe and be present, because you can see me and you can see that I'm breathing. And for me, it's such a large part of the integration process. So as I'm doing this journey to self out loud exploration, a lot of it is just pure integration for myself. And the breathing is that offering I give to myself. So when I've had a profound moment or I feel something moving through me, I love to just offer myself the freedom to sit and be and feel it fully land. And I feel I can offer myself that presence a little bit better just live on video. For myself, Lindsay, I just took a workshop on channeling the head shake, the body language that comes with channeling information versus just individual information. Yes, that does make sense, and that sometimes explains I can do a show, a live check-in, a video, and there are moments that I'm like, what the hell did I just say? And I literally have to rewatch it. And I think that's what you're saying there. And yes, thank you for being here. Have a wonderful, meaningful Monday. Yeah, Lindsay, I think that explains, like, I want to say the buzz, like that tipsy, that's all I can relate it to. I would assume the gentle effects of a high. It feels like such a high vibration. Is that what you're talking about? I think that's what you're talking about. Ooh. I feel like it offers me so much. And I think that's why I need the opportunity to breathe in between, because when I'm in flow, yeah, no, I can't hear your verbal response, or even if I think I can, Facebook Live can't hear your verbal response. So that brings me to a side note of those connections. And there are lots of times where I am deeply involved in a conversation inside of me, and I feel the reciprocity of the conversation. And I think that's part of what just happened there, is this knowing that I'm in a deeper level conversation that doesn't really need words to complete it. And that feels a little bit different to say that out loud, because to be honest, like, there are a lot of things that happen inside of me that I'm still exploring, and I'm still finding language for. So part of what I do here is called inspired speaking, I think is the language that was offered to me at the Lethbridge Spiritualist Center. I think that's what they said, inspired speaking. And there was this moment of sitting there and I was like, whoa, that's what I do. And I didn't even know that that's what I do. And I feel like this journey to self, not just this show, like literally my journey to self has been that deep exploration and and talking to people about different things that happen inside of me, and finding those spaces and places and people and underground ways of being and doing things that aren't necessarily spoken of out loud, and the brilliance in that. And there was also some recognition. So whilst I recognize that I don't laugh out loud and don't have this freedom, I fully intend to laugh more. And in that, there was also, I set the intention in that moment to laugh more and find that freedom in my soul and vocal space, but find those kindred spirits to share the gift of life, of being, of doing, of feeling. And I can feel my body tensing up, and find those people to share this gift with. So I've been on this journey and so this wonderful human named Lindsay, who may or may not be watching this show right now, came to me on Thursday and gave me a haircut and offered me a healing with no expectation. So she physically said, there's no givesies backsies in this moment. Like, this is just for you. And she said, I feel that you are always giving, and you don't really allow space for people to give back. And that's pretty accurate and pretty true. And so I allowed myself the space to just take that gift, and it was wonderful and free and magical, and the recognition that the reciprocity in being a giver is beautiful. But giving people the opportunity to give back is beautiful-er. And yeah, there's so much more to this on so many different levels. I can feel my brain go in like, and like the old stories and the new stories and the we all have these gifts, and we all have the ability to tap into them and share them. And sometimes all we have to do is say, yes, please, and thank you. And it was so simple yet profound. And my voice is doing all these funny things. I feel like I'm on the verge of something here. And maybe it's going to happen on live Facebook. the beauty of it, and I recognize the beauty in the synchronicity and the so I realize it's all in flow, but in this moment, the beauty that I offered myself and that Lindsay offered me on Thursday was just the beginning. So then Friday, I stepped into the role of student. This is so funny. Role of student, and took my Reiki Master training on Friday and Saturday with some very lovely humans that offered me so much in terms of mirroring, self-reflection, power, knowledge, mastery, teaching, vulnerability, showing up raw and real, and just recognizing the beauty of humanity. So even in the people that we look up to, there is this humanness, and they can offer us this gentle softness of being. And so seeing with utter clarity the blatant humanness of their experience was so simple yet profound in the journey to self. So the recognition for me in this moment, there are times when I step into my life and I'm fully in my flow and in my power, in this like powerhouse human gonna change the world. And then there are moments where I like drop into this other place of being and offer myself this gentleness and mothering and raw and real in a whole different level. This vulnerable, fecund, spacious opportunity to just be and let go and learn and flow, and yeah, the super duper ebb and flow of that. Lindsay says, the reciprocity, there's still resistance for you, allowing part of your identity to be someone who is taken care of, hence the throat. Yeah, there's so much tied into here, and I know that there's still so many layers, and part of it comes from being fully seen and fully heard, and allowing, like you said, allowing others to take care of me. And so part of the other part of the shamanic drum circle, we did this group activity, and we were literally like body to body, completely like embraced in a circle, and the supporting, we had to like walk in the circle and move together and flow together. And I fully expressed the resistance that I felt inside my body to being in such close proximity, but fully recognizing the beauty and the synchronicity, and knowing that I needed to be in this circle. And so part of the message that was offered to me was, even so in stepping together, there was some bumping off of each other, and some what would have been missteps, and knowing they were absolutely not missteps at all, and being so completely supported by the group as a whole. And there was so much in that for me, and the beauty of the entire experience. And I know that that's fully this in its entirety, and it's fully this what's moving through me. Maybe not fully, but there's so many elements of it being offered up to me right now, and the beauty of the unfoldment process. And yeah, knowing that knowing that there's not just one way to do it, and knowing that it's not just this like, okay, I see it, feel it, know it on some level, and so here I am. It's this it's this. See my movement? I don't have words for it. Yeah, it feels fecund. Yeah. Ooh, ooh. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Mm. Good morning, Paige. Mm. I can feel a shift inside of my body, and like this in my left sit bone. Oh, have a lovely shower and a meaningful Monday. Thank you for being here with me, Lindsay. A shift in my body. The something has shifted into my left butt cheek, and I can just feel the shift. That's all I'm gonna say. Thanks for being one of my people. Yeah, a lot of what I do is just stay present to what's moving through me. So I recognize something moved there and the beauty of it. And the natural ebb and flow and the layers. So I'm really grateful that I offered myself this opportunity to stay present to my experience, and instead of just going into the radio because that's what I should do or that's what I've scheduled to do, allowing myself the freedom to explore why I still do what I do, and if and when it offers meaning and what that looks like. So today I'm coming to you live from my bed desk, and it has offered me a lot of freedom. I didn't have to rush. I could bring my coffee. I lit my Palo Santo, and I really just offered myself the experience. I had the freedom to use bad words. They're not bad words. They're just really a part of who I am, and I use them quite frequently, and sometimes I feel like they add the punctuation to my sentence that I'm looking for. And the recognition that moving forward, there are spaces and places that I want that platform, that structure of being in that wider audience. And there are spaces and places where I want the freedom to just ebb and flow and take my journey to self to where I am and what I'm doing, and the recognition that I intend to spend a lot of my summer on the beach. And I can't take the radio station to Kukanusa, but I can take Facebook Live and myself and my devices and my presence and my knowing and my feeling and my doing and my being and my seeing. And so that's what's important to me in this moment. So there are many ways that I can feel that I want to use the Jess FM platform, and many ways that I feel the freedom of just doing it in the moment. And there's so much beauty in that. And I'm really grateful that I offered myself the opportunity to just be here this morning and explore a new way of doing things. And there's something really comfortable in this. So, that wraps up the flowy part of my conversation, but there are some things I want to put out there that I am a part of, and I want you to know about. So upcoming events, June 13th, this Wednesday, there's a red tent at 7 p.m. and we're having a journey with Marcia Rich. She's a shamanic practitioner in town here, and she's on my list of favorite humans and favorite experiences. So some of the clarity that I had, not this past drum circle, but the one previous, was the shamanic work that I do. Well, every once in a while I'm called to do shamanic work for other humans. Mainly in this moment, my journey with shamanism is all about self-healing, and it's one of the things that I do for me, and it's so wonderful, and I love it on so many levels. It has rocked my entire existence. That's a whole other story. So that's on June 13th at 7 p.m. June 16th at Naturistas is Meet the Practitioner and their 11th anniversary. So between the hours of 12 and 4, you can stop by Naturistas. There's going to be prizes and snacks and tea and different presentations from the different practitioners that have office space in the back there. So if you've ever wondered what goes on there, that's the day to stop by and find out. There will be little mini presentations and discounts and lots of fabulousness there. So stop by and check that out. June 20th is the Sacred Self Young circle. It's the drop-in. It's the last drop-in before we break for summer. So that's for ages 9 to 12-ish, and we just really explore what's moving through us, talk about intuition, dreams, our knowing, our emotions, how they guide our existence. It's really a beautiful experience for the young people. So that's June 20th, the last drop-in. It's at 6 o'clock. June 26th is the last red tent before I break for, I'm taking July off. So June 26th, Cindy Hubka is coming. She's one of the magical humans who helped to make me magical. She is amazing in so many ways, and I'm so grateful she's on this journey with me. So the title of that red tent is Magic. I see some manifesting happening in that. The full experience hasn't landed inside of my body. That's why it's just titled Magic, and it will be whatever I feel guided. We feel guided. Whatever comes up between now and then. And then June 27th, Goddess Inc. is partnering with Chef Stella to do a community cook, make and take. So we're going to be making cabbage rolls and breakfast bars and sharing in the beauty of community, because I know that we all have to eat and we're all making dinner, and it's been in my awareness to create a space where we can just come together and do life and be together. So June 27th, Goddess Inc. and Chef Stella are offering a community cook at 6:15. So you can register for the community cook in person at Chef Stella and pay cash, or you can register online and e-transfer to goddessinclusive@gmail.com. So all of these events are on Facebook. I intend to update my website to include them when I can find a space and time to do that. So I hope to see you at some of these events. I'm really excited for all of them. And so I'm still taking clients for the month of June. I have office space at Naturistas. We can do it there. I do offer mobile healing services, so I can come to you because I know that in my most troublesome moments when I needed the most healing, it was so helpful to have my team come to me, and I will do that for you in your moment of need. Because I believe that house calls should make a comeback. I don't really understand the go sit in a waiting room kind of mentality. So just so you know, I'm putting it out there. I do mobile healing. I will come to you. And so, yep, there are some spaces available left for June, and I'm taking July off. I do foresee being in town mid-July. One of the boards I sit on for the Lethbridge Sustainable Living Association, we're having a fundraiser for Applefest, and that will be July 16th at the Owl. And so I will be back in town for that because that sounds like fun and magic. And, well, that's what I'm inviting into my life for July, so it just seems to make sense that I make that a part of my existence. So I will take clients that week. So if you need something, probably plan for the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just in case I have to fly off for fun and adventure. So thank you for being part of my experience this morning. It feels like something shifted inside of me. And that feels wonderful. I had something to say. And it's completely gone, so clearly it wasn't meant to be said in this moment. So I hope your Monday is whatever you need it to be. I feel so present and like there's no words for that. I don't know what that is. That's what I feel like. There's movement. There's a gift. Yeah, it's beautiful. So I'm going to end on that note, and thank you for being here with me.